Hi, my name is Gunnar. Experience of touching the snow in the mountain is what I have been dreaming about since my childhood. I live in a village in Assam, quite near to the easternmost Himalayas, just 200 kilometers away by road. Many times I just go out for a multi-day cycling trip without just making such of planning, just to experience the freedom in life. I don't know where will I stay, what to eat, just my bicycle and my tent. There is a place called Myodia in Lower Dibang valley of Arunachal Pradesh. It is the closest snowfall region for the local people of Assam in Eastern Part. Located at the height of 2600 meters from the sea level, in the easternmost Himalayas, Myodia happened to be one of the best winter destinations for a domestic traveler, due to its snowfall during December to February. In one winter morning, I packed my bike pack and headed towards Myodia. But the hilly road to Myodia from rowing is as challenging as its stunning beauty around those tropical high altitude hills. In the whole hill section from rowing to Myodia of around 60 km, there is only a single village called Tiwari, where you can see some human existence near the road, located exactly at the halfway mark till Myodia. Tiwari 28 km mark. 28 km away from rowing, this is the only place that you can get something to eat. I could see only a few families in the village, few down the road and few wooden houses at the top of the hill. Away from modernization, the hill has no electricity, no internet connection. Only I could see few solar light posts near the road. Agriculture and the wood from the forest of those hills are providing the livelihood for the villagers. It will be another adventure to find any mobile signal in that village. Think about how the people are disconnected from the other parts of the world in terms of accessible internet connectivity.
Guys, I reached Tiwari and see the beautiful sunset. There is a reddish view. Oh, probably I'm going to stay for here. I lost somebody. 28 kilometer point. This mountain area, it's quite difficult to get some kind of food because it's quite remote, as well as the population is quite low here. So if I can see any kind of village, so I get quite good confidence that at least I can manage some food. So here it is 28 point, as you can see there. So it's around 26 kilometer from 28 kilometer from that rowing. So today I am planning to halt here because further I need to go another 25 kilometer and it is 4:30 p.m. It's a winter season, so it will be very difficult. It will be very soon. Actually, it's going to be dark, so I need to find some place. You can see some village, small hut. So I'll manage to get some food, or probably I'll tent so I can see some field there.
Hi guys, I am in Tiwari gaon. So yesterday night I stayed here only. This is a Tiwari gaon village. As you can see, those small huts over there, and there also. It's so cold. Yesterday night was, especially the early morning, so cold. Oh, now you can feel the shivering that I am getting now. Now let's enjoy the beauty. See that moon, I can still view it now. It's around 6 o'clock. Yeah, about to 6 o'clock in the morning, and see the beautiful back view. The moon is still there, and the view is just amazing, guys.
It was the time to sunrise at morning around 6:30. It was a winter dawn amid the hills of Mishimi hill at Tiwari. I looked around the hill on that cold and windy morning, coming out of the small hut that I stayed in the last night. The mild wind was making the winter morning more intense. But to my surprise, once I looked south from the top of the hill that I was standing, the tiny full moon was still clearly visible. The light pink color hue at the sky with the moon, it was one of the unique scenery I could see for the first time in my life. The riverbed between the hill was drawing my attention.
That's how that sunlight is coming. It's a straight line, you can see.
I was curious to see the little reddish sun coming out of the middle of the hills. But only I could see was the soft and the yellow sunlight on the opposite side of the hills, making visible only at the top of the opposite hills. And that's it. It was just beyond beautiful. The sun rays were easily distinguishable coming from the edge of those hills.
See that view?
Hills look stunning, covered with those tropical forests while riding, and it's much easier to climb in the winter due to less exhaustion of sweat. But a rider has to bear lots of challenges in those ways. The lack of direct sunlight in few parts of the hill becomes very cold all of a sudden when you cross that part of the hill. It feels like shivering. It may cause hypothermia.
See that shade? It's going to be a bit of reddish color.
Even at 4:30 in the afternoon, we can experience the darkness. And once the darkness starts, the coldness also follows aggressively along with a mild wind. Winter and hills are more challenging due to its extreme temperatures. Due to large availability of firewood from the forests, it's easier to keep the hut warm by constantly burning those firewoods in the kitchen. The best way to get the local flavor of living in a remote place is to get connected with the locals. I want to keep myself engaged in the evening mostly with those local people to get the real life experience from them living in those remote locations. The freezing cold around the hills of Mishimi Hill forced to find some place to protect myself from cold wind blowing constantly in that open area. How do you feel if you met your own community people outside your locality and that is also in a different territory? I felt very blessed to get a company in that lonely place surrounded by hills. I could soon feel the addiction of the bonfire, which is very rare to come away from the warmth of that fire in that winter surrounding. I was treated like a guest, the constant worry bombarding in my mind of getting something to eat in that remote place was relieved once they offered me a plate of rice along with their dinner. It was not less than a picnic for me, surrounded by my community people enjoying around the bonfire. Darkness comes quite fast in the hills compared to the other parts in the plain place. Planning a tour in the mountains, there is another challenge that we need to keep in mind as a bikepacker, as the sunlight time is comparatively low in those hilly places. If you cannot manage to get a suitable place to pitch your tent, it might be very difficult once it is dark. The continuous mild wind was another problem around the hills of Arunachal in those winter evenings. You may face hypothermia once you get off the bike suddenly and make a delay to wear a warm dress immediately. It can be very dangerous for you. I was living in a place where there was no light pollution, so I left to spend time in such a lonely location in hills. The dark sky with the thousands of stars blinking as natural light, it was just spectacular. I can never describe in words how much I love to sit under the open sky, staring at the stars on a cold and dark winter night. Even though there is so much of beauty that we can find around these hills, I would lie if I say that it's always easy to spend night at the peak winter, because it's not as we think. The hardest part is to live in those hills each night. Temperature goes down drastically as the night continues. But even whenever the sun goes down, the moons come up. It was an exciting moment for me to witness the rising sun from the top of the hills, making the hills little bright even in the darkness. This was all about the little village in Mishimi Hill, where you can experience the extreme of winter and the charm of nature at the same time.